Hello, BookTube. I thought I'd do something a little different today. I don't usually do a TBR, but I thought I'd do something called From the Side Table. This, of course, is a side table. I collect a lot of books to read in various places I have, and you've seen most of them. I have a little office upstairs. There'll be papers, journal articles, occasionally books in that room. I have a little spot at the top of the landing, the back side of the stairs, that's mostly sci-fi and magazines and stuff I read up there. But down here in the living room, I always have a pile of books going, and I'm the type who has more than one going usually. So, and then I also have books at work and articles and stuff I read. So I thought I'd go through a little, it's sort of like a TBR, or things I'm looking at, things I just got that I plan on reading soon, and they're just here conveniently placed for me. So let me take off my glasses so I can read. The first thing I'm reading right now is St. Patrick, The Legend and History of Ireland's Patron Saint by Roy Fletcher. This thing was a gift to me from Steve Donahue, and it's Princeton University Press, Princeton and Oxford in 2019. I'm on page 127. Not quite, I guess it's pretty close to halfway. Really interesting. This academic is looking at Patrick and his legend, obviously, putting it in the context of the Roman civilization out of which Patrick rose, even though it was at the end of the Roman civilization. Re-examining some of our notions of the confession and the letter. The letter was sent to a person who had made a slave raid that rounded up some of Patrick's new converts, and the confessions were pretty much what they sound like, an autobiography almost. The author examines the language to put it in the context of the Roman world in which he lived, and also what the objective of the confession was in the first place. Really interesting stuff. Most of my knowledge of Patrick is the pretty standard thing, so this was a bit of an eye-opener thus far. Very well written, well sourced. Some things I hadn't seen before, but I'm sure scholars of Patrick have. So, yeah, St. Patrick. Then the next thing here is something I found on that recent Five Colleges book sale. I had seen around, didn't know the story behind it, talked a little bit to Steve Donahue about it. He knew the story very well, sort of clued me in on to some of this. And this is Boswell's London Journal, and it is edited by Frederick A. Pottle. Much of Boswell's stuff was considered a bit of a problem by his family. After he died, a lot of it ended up in trunks, eventually scattered, location unknown, or even if it existed unknown. Some was thought to have been burnt that wasn't. Much of it was rediscovered in the last century, in the 20th century. And one of the persons who comes out really interesting here is Lieutenant Colonel Ralph H. Isham, CBE. He was from New York City. He served in the British Army, but he's the fellow who provided the funds and, in many ways, the means to access the families and allow this stuff to be released and eventually published. I'm on page 23. I've been reading the introduction and the preface. The preface was very interesting because it was by Christopher Morley. Those of you who remember the two old bookstore books, the Haunted Bookstore and the Parnassus on Wheels, I believe they were called. It used to be standard. Most book collecting homes had them at one time. I used to have them, liked them very much, don't have them anymore, so I'll probably be on the lookout for them. And then this introduction, of course, is a little more detailed after the preface. So this fascinating story, I'd recommend if you get a chance, look into it. I would think there'd be something on Wikipedia or something like that. There's more volumes that go. This was the first published out of this event, the discovery of all these documents. They're at Yale University right now. The other one, I think there was one called Holland Journal. There's Pottle did something on the early life. A lot of documentation here. I'm very much looking forward to reading this, though my understanding it's quite a bit different than the life of Johnson. So yeah, just getting into that. Then the other thing I'm reading a bit into is Possessed by Memory, The Inward Light of Criticism by Harold Bloom. This is quite a volume thus far. 2019, Alfred A. Knopf. I'm on page 89. The first part, a lot of it dealt with the Hebrew Bible. The second part looks like it's getting into Shakespeare, not surprisingly for Harold Bloom. Neither is very surprising for Harold Bloom. Wide-ranging literary mind. It's a bit sad thus far. He's talking about literature. He's also talking a little bit of his life. He's got to be his late 80s, early 90s, I'm not sure which. And he talks about falling. He talks about being restricted in his movement, so somewhat to his room. Friends passing away. It has that tinge of sadness to it that we'll all face. It's just the way it is, folks. But it does pull in your heartstrings a little bit, especially for somebody like me who's getting a little older and has had Harold Bloom in the literary world that I love for so long, and he's done so much. You may agree or disagree with him on things, but he was engaged, and even in his twilight years, it would have to be. It's still engaged. So I'm looking forward to finishing this up. Thus far, a bit of a journey. So with that, for some reason I didn't still have a copy of this and went to the book sale and I picked this up, and I probably will reread it. There he is on the back, Harold Bloom. This is Shakespeare, The Invention of the Human. Don't know why I don't have my copy anymore. This one's in excellent condition. And I will, $2, can't beat that. I will probably be reading this soon. It's sitting here on the table for me to make a choice about that. That's what this side table usually does. Not everything on here ends up being reread or read immediately, but most of the time. This was Riverhead Books, 1998. Saying was everywhere, so mine here says it is a 6th printing. This thing was this was a bit of an event when it came out. So more Harold Bloom. The other thing here on the table is Me and Shakespeare, Adventures with the Bard, Herman Gollab, a memoir. I just started this. I'm only a few pages in. Looks pretty good. I asked Steve Donahue about it while I was here visiting because I picked it up again on that Five Colleges book sale. And so he sort of encouraged me to read it. I'll definitely give this a go. This would probably, and I have never read this, I would probably read this before I reread the Harold Bloom. I'm reading Harold Bloom. I've already read the other Harold Bloom, so this will probably end up going next. And it's a short thing, I don't know. It's 340 pages. So it should be interesting. Then I am reading, and my sort of thing, I love books on the history of the books on book trade in history. And one of my favorite authors in that little niche is Andrew Pettigrew. And this is the Bookshop of the World. I've read other books by Mr. Pettigrew. Here they mention The Invention of the News. He's a professor of modern history at the University of St. Andrews and a director of the Universal Short Title Catalog. And again, yeah, anything by him I've read. I don't think I've missed anything. Maybe I have. But he wrote this in conjunction with Arthur der Weduwen, or Weduwen. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. And it's the making and trading of books in the Dutch Golden Age. And thus far, in 2019, who was this? This is Yale again. Yale does some wonderful stuff. Just the page I'm on shows you the sort of images, all that. See if we've got anything else that might be interesting. Yeah. So history of the book trade, how books collections, publishers, all that stuff that I always enjoy. So I'll definitely keep working at this one. Then I have one final thing. Oddly enough, this is an interlibrary loan. I've been reading along with Joseph Francis Burton. I did one video, which is what he requested we do with his New Testament apocryphal read along, and I've been doing that. And as you can tell, I've been reading along as I watch his videos. Excellent, interesting. Little side turn there. I don't know how you'd phrase it. A little off the beaten path, but part of our cultural heritage. And boy, I enjoyed watching his videos. I wish I'd gotten to do more, but at least he was doing them. I did do one video, but at least he was doing them, and I could follow along. So this will be going back pretty soon. This was. I ended up getting this halfway through, or about a little less than halfway through the read-along. I interlibrary loaned it. The Apocryphal New Testament, a collection of apocryphal Christian literature in an English translation by J.K. Elliott, Clarendon Press, Oxford. This came out in 1993. But it's structured after the M.R. James Apocryphal New Testament, which came out from Oxford University Press in 1924. So yeah, this will probably, I keep dipping in and out of it. This will probably go back. I probably should bring it back to work tomorrow and have it sent out to the Middlebury College, but I got a little time left on it, so maybe I'll be patient. But anyhow, that's the side table. I'm sitting here and put these all back while I'm talking to you. I'm a little weird that way. Right now, probably finished the St. Patrick up today. Again, excellent book. Did I say Princeton? So that's about it. We got a little bit of sunshine breakthrough here. I can see little splotches of blue sky over there, but we've had rain. Looks like we've got more on the way. And that stream right outside my house is just roaring all day and roaring all night, so it puts me to sleep. But hope all is well. And I thank you, BookTube, and we'll see you soon.